Let me take you back to 1997. I was 19, still unsure of my future, still figuring things out. But one thing I was sure about was how proud I was to work with my stepdad. He was the operations manager at this mid-sized telecommunications contractor. Not flashy, not famous, but reliable work. Honest work. And he was good at it. So good that he got me a job for the summer. Basic field tech stuff, grunt work really, but I loved it. Clicked. I found something I was actually good at. Summer came and went, and I stuck around. Got better. Got faster. I wanted to build a career, and this was my shot. But about 4 months in, everything changed. My stepdad, who'd worked there for years, got into a disagreement with the owner. And when I say disagreement, I don't mean shouting or throwing papers or even anything serious. It was over something trivial, a scheduling mix-up, easily fixable. But the owner, let's call him Rick, had a massive ego. The kind of guy who couldn't handle being challenged, even slightly. He saw any disagreement as disrespect. So, he fired my stepdad on the spot. No warning, no severance, just gone. And just like that, someone who gave years of loyal service was tossed aside like yesterday's trash. I was devastated and confused. We had different last names, so nobody immediately connected us. I didn't know whether to walk out in solidarity or stay and carve my own path. I stayed, but it didn't take long before I saw the cracks. This company was a mess. My pay was inconsistent. Some weeks I was shortchanged, always clerical errors. Of course, benefits that were promised in the interview never materialized. Questions were dodged. HR was practically non-existent. Still, I toughed it out. For 18 more months, I kept telling myself, it's a stepping stone. Just a stepping stone. Eventually, I landed a job with a major telecommunications provider. Legit, established, big time. Ironically, one of the clients Rick's company used to work with. I finally had the stability, respect, and compensation I had dreamed about. But life has a funny way of setting the stage for karma. A few years into the new job, I got promoted. My role now? Basically, I was the gatekeeper. I decided which construction firms got hired for big infrastructure projects. Projects worth anywhere from $75,000 to $200,000 each. I managed 20 to 30 of these a year. That's millions in potential revenue. And dozens of companies wanted in. One afternoon, my assistant told me I had a call on line 2. I picked it up. Hi, this is Rick. I run, company name. We used to do subcontracting for your organization, and I was hoping we could meet up and talk about getting back on your approved contractor list. Maybe over lunch. Same Rick. The man who fired my stepdad without a second thought. Who shorted my paychecks. Who sold loyalty for ego. He didn't recognize my voice. Didn't connect the dots. To him, I was just another suit on the inside. I agreed to the lunch. At a fancy restaurant I'd always wanted to try. On his dime, he showed up in a crisp suit. Hair slicked back. Rehearsed pitch ready to go. He talked at me for 20 minutes straight. About his company, his team, how much he cares for his employees. The irony nearly choked me. He name-dropped big clients. Talked about efficiency, accountability, quality. I nodded politely, taking bites of the best steak I'd ever had. Then I leaned back, smiled, and said, "You know, I used to work for your company." He paused, confused. "Really? Huh. What was your name again?" I told him. Still nothing. Then I added, "I was hired by stepdad's full name." And that's when it hit him. Like a freight train. His eyes widened. His face flushed. That cocky, confident smirk drained off his face like spilled wine. He remembered. Oh, he remembered. I let that moment linger. Let him stew in it. Then I leaned in slightly and said, "Yeah, he was my stepdad." Silence. You could hear the clink of silverware from the other tables. The man looked like he wanted the earth to open and swallow him whole. He tried to recover, stammered something about how great of a guy my stepdad was, how things were complicated back then, how he's learned a lot. I let him talk, let him squirm. When the bill came, he picked it up with a shaking hand. I shook his other hand firmly and said, "Thanks for the meal. Unfortunately, our contractor list is full with companies that actually take care of their people. But I'll keep you in mind if that ever changes." It never did. I never heard from him again. His name never appeared on our vendor list. Not for me. Not for anyone in my division. That one lunch probably cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost contracts. And he knew exactly why. He looked me in the eye and saw the price of his arrogance. Of the bridges he burned. Of the decent people he discarded along the way. The best part? I didn't have to raise my voice. Didn't have to scheme or sabotage. All I had to do was succeed. People like Rick, they think power protects them. They think they'll never need the people they hurt on the way up. But life has a funny way of handing out receipts. My stepdad didn't get the apology he deserved. But I like to think that somewhere, he would have smiled knowing the punk kid he once helped get a summer job ended up delivering the justice he never got. If that revenge hit you right in the soul, do me a favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment below. What's a moment when karma came full circle in your life? And if you love stories where the underdog gets the last laugh, make sure to subscribe. We've got more stories that'll have you cheering for justice every single week.